Look at your hands for a moment. Just look at them while you were sleeping last night, while you were breathing the quiet air of your bedroom. Two children, a 5-year-old boy and a 6-month-old sister, were having their life erased. They were not on the battlefield, they were not combatants. They were in their beds in Tronglaobi. They were in the one place on this earth where a child is supposed to feel safe, in the arms of their home. But in Manipur, home is no longer a sanctuary. It is a target. I'm not here today to give you a sanitized news report. I'm not here to play the both side game that the national media loves so much. I'm here because today the soul of Manipur has been ripped open. When a rocket, a projectile fire from the hills, strikes a house and kills a baby who has not even learned to walk, we have moved past ethnic conflict. We have moved into the realm of pure, unadulterated barbarism. Condemnation is a weak word. It is a word for politicians who want to avoid taking action. I'm here to say that this is a stand on the conscience of India. If this had happened in Delhi, the nation would be at a standstill. If this had happened in Mumbai, the perpetrators would have been neutralized within hours. But because it is Manipur, we get a 30-second clip on the news and internet ban. Tonight, we are going to talk about why this keeps happening. We are going to talk about the intelligence failure that let this happen. We are going to talk about more violence that followed, and we are going to speak directly to the man in the big chair, Mr. Khemchand. This is a reality check. Stay with me because today silence is a crime. Let's look at the facts of the early hours of that morning. At approximately 1 a.m. in the Moirang Tronglaobi area of Bishnupur, a house was struck, not by a small arm bullet but by a heavy projectile. Suspected Kuki militants firing from the cover of the hills targeted a civilian settlement. The result, a 5-year-old boy and a 6-month-old girl dead. Their mother is in hospital, her body shattered and her spirit likely destroyed forever. I want to ask the people behind this. What was the objective? Was that 6-month-old child a threat to your tribal rights? Was that 5-year-old boy an enemy of the people? Killing children is the ultimate act of a coward. It shows that you have no military strategy, only a strategy of terror. You are not fighting for a cause, you are fighting against humanity itself. And we must condemn this in the strongest possible terms. Every single organization, every civil society organization that claims to represent the hills, if you are silent today, you are complicit. If you do not condemn the murder of babies in their sleep, you have no moral right to speak about justice. But there is a bigger question here. Why is this selling happening every few days? Every 3 or 4 days, the people in the valley fringes, the farmers, the children, the elders, are subjected to the threat of mortars and rockets. This isn't a one-off incident. This is a pattern. It is a calculated tactical harassment. Why don't they want to end this conflict? The answer is simple. Conflict is a business. Conflict provides a cover for the invisible hands. We have to ask who is providing these rockets. A local militia doesn't just manufacture long-range projectiles in a jungle hut. There is an external hand. Whether it is the porous border with Myanmar, the flow of narcotics, or larger geopolitical players who want to keep India's northeast in a state of permanent instability, something is feeding this fire. We are seeing sophisticated drones and rockets being used in 2026 that we didn't see in 2023. This conflict has been upgraded and the government is still fighting it with 20th century logic. When the news of the children's death broke, the anger in Moirang and Tronglaobi was palpable. We saw thousands of people, mothers, youths, fathers, pouring into the street. They didn't just protest, they marched. They marched towards the CRPF camp near Gelmol. They marched toward the Moirang police station. And then the tragedy compounded. A mob, driven by grief and fury, tried to storm the CRPF camp. They burned vehicles, they vandalized property, and the CRPF, the central forces who are supposed to be the neutral buffer, opened fire. 2 more people are dead, 2 more families are mourning. In Moirang police station, we saw barricades being burned and police outposts destroyed. Now, I want to speak to the people of Manipur. Listen to me carefully. I understand that. I feel it too. When the state fails to protect your babies, you feel that the uniform is useless. You feel that the CRPF is just standing there watching you die. But when we storm a security camp, we are walking straight into a trap. Think about it logically. When you attack a CRPF camp, you are giving the central government exactly what it needs to justify its failure. You are giving them the law and order excuse. They can say to the world, look, the mighty are lawless. They are attacking the army. So we have to fire in self-defense. Every time a mob burn an oil tanker or storm a police station, the focus shifts from the militant who killed the children to the mob that burned the truck. The narrative in the national media changes instantly. The headline becomes protester clash with security forces, and the headline about children killed in slave disappears. By letting our emotions drive us to attack the security infrastructure, we are sabotaging our own cause. We are helping the perpetrators hide in the shadows of the chaos we create. And what was the government's grand solution to this mourning crisis? Did they launch a drone strike on the hillslope where the rockets were fired from? No. Did they arrest the commanders of the group who claimed responsibility or were suspected? No. They banned the internet. Again, in 5 districts, Imphal West, Imphal East, Thoubal, Kaksing, and Bishnupur. This is the laziest, most incompetent reaction a government can have. Suspension of internet services in 2026 is not a precautionary. It is a curb on freedom of speech. It is a way for the state to hide its own embarrassment. They think that if we can't tweet, if we can't go live, if we can't share the images of those children, then the problem doesn't exist. By banning the internet, you are not stopping the militants. The militants have satellite phones. The militants have their own communication networks. The only people you are stopping are the students who need to submit their assignments, the bankers who need to process payment, and the citizens who need to know which roads are safe to travel. Mr. CM, you are punishing the victim for the crimes of the perpetrators. You are treating people of the Delhi like criminals by taking away their digital rights. While the people in the hills are allowed to launch rockets with impunity, this is not governance. This is an admission of defeat. You are saying, I cannot stop the bullets, so I will stop the words. It is a stand on our democracy. In the last few hours, we have seen reports of arrests. State police claim to have picked up suspects connected to the Tronglaobi attack. To the police, I say good, it is a start, but to the people, I say stay vigilant. We have seen arrests before, we have seen people paraded before the camera only for the selling to resume 3 days later. If these arrests are just foot soldiers while the commanders and the rocket supply lines remain intact, then this is nothing but optics. We don't want arrests for the sake of the news cycle. We want a total dismantling of the land site in the foothills. We want the supply chain from across the border cut off. Justice for those children is not found in a jail cell for a few suspects. It is found in the permanent security of their village. Now let's talk about the intelligence failure. We have been in this conflict since May 2023. It is now April 2026. That is nearly 3 years. We have thousands of central forces, state commandos, army units, and intelligence agencies crawling all over Manipur. And yet, a group of militants can set up a rocket launcher on a hill slope, aim at a house in the valley, and fire it at 1 a.m. without being detected. How? Where were the drones? Where were the heat sensing cameras that were promised? This is a failure of the highest order. And this brings me to CM Khemchand. Mr. CM, the streets are full of people demanding your resignation. They are angry at your remarks. Remarks that seem to downplay the systemic nature of this terror. They are tired of hearing that these incidents are unfortunate. However, I want to talk to the people who are calling for resignation. Think logically. If CM Khemchand resigns today, what happened tomorrow? We go back to president's rule. We go back to being ruled directly from Delhi by bureaucrats who have never stepped foot in Tronglaobi. We lose our local voice. We lose our state representation. We have seen what happened during the long periods of president's rule in the past. The ordering of Manipur only grows deeper. So, I'm not here to join the chorus of resignation. I'm here to join the chorus of action. Same Khemchand, the people don't want you to leave. They want you to lead. We don't want you to quiet. We want you to protect. You have been given a mandate. You are the head of a state government. You have state forces under your command. Use them. Stop playing the role of a silent spectator to the central forces. Buffer zone drama. If the central forces are not stopping the rocket, then it is your constitutional duty to ensure that state forces fill that gap. Do not let the state fall into the trap of another president's rule where we are silenced completely. But be warned, the people's patience is not infinite. Your remark about the situations were seen as weak. We need to correct that narrative not with better speeches, but with better results. Secure the peripheral areas, give the commandos the clearance they need to neutralize the rocket size. Show us that the state government can do what the central bureaucracy cannot. To my brothers and sisters in Manipur, I want to end this by speaking about the information war. We are living in an era where language and logic shape the world's perception. The people who kill those children want us to become a mob. They want us to burn police station and clash with the CRPF because it makes us look like the problem. If we destroy our own infrastructure, if we create a situation where the state is ungovernable, we are literally begging the center to impose president's rule. And that is exactly what our enemies want. They want the local government dismantled so that the security narrative is controlled entirely from Delhi. We must resist this with logic. Stop the mob violence. When you attack the CRPF, you are helping the perpetrators hide. You are shifting the headline from baby's murder to mob attack army. Don't give them that gift. Demand results, not resignation. A resignation is an easy exit for a politician. Demand that they stay and fix the mess they allow to happen. Force the government to do its job. Even with the internet ban, find ways. Let the world see the traitor in the bedroom. Let them see the face of the murderer. This is our weapon. It's painful. It is the most difficult thing in the world to be logical when your house is on fire. But logic is our only weapon in this information war. If we lose our logic, we lose our state. Manipur is not just a map. It is a soul, and right now the soul is being tested. We must survive this. We must ensure that the sacrifice of those two little souls in Tronglaobi becomes a catalyst for a real permanent solution, not just another cycle of violence. Stay safe, stay logical, stay loud. Justice for innocent, action from the state, no more excuses. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.